Welcome back to former FBI Director James Comey, here to talk about his new book, A Higher Loyalty. That is out today. You see it right there. And you know, we've talked about a lot of the controversies over the last couple of years, but of course your book covers a lot more than that. Yesterday, a lot of America got to meet your wife, Patrice, for the first time. And you all have been together since college. And I was struck by a story you told in the book. Early in your relationship, she actually literally saved your life.
Yeah, she did. We met when we were 19. After we graduated college, she went in the Peace Corps to West Africa. And our relationship is just a series of events of me chasing her, trying to convince her to love me. And so I traveled to West Africa to visit her after my first year of law school. And in a remote spot in the bush in Sierra Leone, I came down with malaria. And we were probably 50 miles from help. And she knew she had to get me out of there or I was going to be in desperate straits. So she put me on the back of her motorcycle, 125cc motorcycle, and took me through bush roads and then ended up literally dragging me to a hospital, which saved my life.
Just incredible. And you also shared the most searing experience any parents could have. You lost your son, Colin, when he was just a little baby.
Yeah. Our son, Colin, was born healthy and died a little over a week later from a preventable infection. And it was devastating, hard for me even today to describe. The audio part of this book, which I read, I almost couldn't get through that chapter because it is so painful, and especially to think about what Patrice went through then. But then she taught me something, which I describe in the book, by turning that into something good. Not that it would ever make that incredible pain worth it, but she wanted other mothers to never experience that pain that she had gone through. And so she made it her mission to try to change medical practice across the country so that all mothers would be tested for this bacteria, which is harmless to the moms, but can kill their babies. And so if you have a baby today in the United States, you are tested for Group B strep, and if you have it, you're treated with antibiotics during delivery and your baby will be fine. She took something awful and turned it into something good, which is the reason it's in the book, which is about leadership. It changed how I think about being a person and being a leader.
You talk about leadership. You should clap for that, I think. Yeah. And when you were director of the FBI, you actually talked a lot about what you learned about leadership from probably the biggest star in the NBA.
Yeah, LeBron James, a man I've never met. I resemble only in being the same height, and everything else is, his shoulders are about twice mine. But I admire LeBron James, and he's probably about to find out I used to talk about him all over the FBI and say he illustrates what the endless pursuit of excellence looks like. I don't want to offend anybody, but he's the best basketball player on the earth today. There may be, you know, people have different views. I'm sorry, year 15.
You can't make anybody happy.
No, year 15 for LeBron, and he is still the king, the top of the game. But every offseason I've read, he tries to find a part of his game to make better, which is crazy because he's already better than everybody else. It's because he measures himself not against the others, but against himself. So I used to say inside the FBI, look, this is a great organization, but it's not good enough. It can't ever be good enough. We have to find parts of our game to make better. Look at LeBron James. And so that's how I've used him as an example.
Got some questions coming in on social media. First one from JBS, 54 JBS. Was the book in the making for some time, or was there some watershed moment where you concluded you must write it? If it's the latter, what was the watershed moment? I look forward to reading the book.
Yeah, you may have heard I was fired on May the 9th of last year. I was never going to write a book. It always felt like an exercise in ego, and I'm sure a lot of my friends are going to mock me for turning around and writing a book. But I decided in the wake of my firing, it dawned on me over a few weeks that I had something that I could be useful. Something bad had happened to me. Remember the lessons I've learned from my wife. Is there something that I can make good out of this? I'd still rather be FBI director, but I have a chance to tell stories about things I've done wrong, problems I have, values I've learned that may be useful to parents or to bosses or anybody who's going to have a boss about what leadership should look like.
Actually leads to the next question that came in on Twitter from the real Django. If offered, would you go back to being the director of the FBI under another presidential administration?
That's a great question. I'd have to talk to Patrice about it. I loved what I did. And what makes me sad is I'm away from those people and that mission. And I have a hard time imagining myself back in government. But if I had a magic wand, I would still be FBI director with those people trying to protect this great country.
Not a no, not a yes, but it is the last word. James Comey, thanks very much.
Thanks, George.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.